Okay, that's fine.
But I don't come in.
All right, we good?
Kick it.
All right, at this time we'll call to order our regular meeting, Tuesday, July 24th, Little Miami Local Schools Board of Education. Roll call, please.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Kamines?
Here.
Mr. Rice? Absent.
Roll call.
Mr. Siebert?
Here.
We gotta get you out there, Melinda. I almost said your name. Still on my list.
Oh, you're on the list.
At this time, if you'll rise and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag is ready. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, at this time, we need a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll move.
Mr. Kamines?
Second.
Mr. Nay? Roll call, please.
Let's see. Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Kamines?
Yes.
Mr. Siebert?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we need a motion for the reading of the minutes. It says July 24th on here, but it actually is June 26th regular meeting and the special minutes that we did in addition to that. So I need a motion.
So
I'll
moved.
move.
All right,
I'll second.
Mr. Siebert and Mr. Nay, seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kamines?
Yes.
Mr. Siebert?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, communications and/or visitors to the board.
I have two updates I'd like to share with the board. An update on our Little Miami High School circumstance. Just wanted to take some time and go through some background on what occurred related to our HVAC and the moisture in the building. It was around the week of June the 11th. We had significant failure of the control boards in 5 of our HVAC units and in the original part of the building. So that would have been in the media center area, the main office area. There was a computer lab and a business tech classroom. It was in that main part of the original construction, the 2000 construction. That operating system does not have any, it's not alarmed. So when those boards failed, the outside air intakes failed 100% open. As you will recall, we had a pretty high humidity, a lot of storms that week. So while the chiller continued to work and try to dehumidify, it seems like we were trying to dehumidify the greater Cincinnati area. Once we noted that we had a high moisture content down the library, there were some signs, bowed ceiling tiles. We were going in there on cleanup, and they noticed some stuff that looked like it might be mold. So we called our environmental vendor that we have been working with, and she came in and we began to assess the situation, and we got another vendor in to help us clean up and remediate all of the identified areas. We've been working with EcoPure of Cincinnati, who is our environmental vendor, as well as our HVAC vendor, DeBrock Kemple, since then working to make sure that we could get the system adjusted to dehumidify the building. What we found is, and once we got that high level of humidity in the building, it began to wander around and filter through the building. We identified along some air vents in the auditorium where there was start of some growth, so we cut that and abated that. And we've since reinstalled new drywall. We're in the process of, we'll need to finish that out after we get done with our new family welcome tomorrow, or Thursday night. We've had the Warren County Health Department in late last week, and they took a look at what all we had done and reviewed what all we had done. Our clinician from the health department indicated that we had done everything correctly, that we had been proactive. She was impressed that we brought an environmental person in immediately. He has no recommendations for us. She's fine with everything that's been done, and we should be getting her report here in the next day or two. Today, work was completed to remove the carpet from the main office areas. And since both the media center and the main office are a part of that scheduled renovation for our bond issue that we passed, we're looking at doing minimal work to return those areas to working condition.
Right.
We determined that we're going to paint the floors with, actually it's a little Miami green that we have on some concrete steps that are in the high school, and it matches, so work is proceeding along those lines. And we're going to probably live in that circumstance until we figure out what the remodeling is going to be.
Green floor?
So that's where we are on that. The building has been cleared, all areas of the building have been cleared, and the final area to clear will be the front office. Staff that's assigned to that's been working out of the junior high. In the central office, the work is proceeding on the renovation there ahead of schedule. All drywall is installed, the base coat of primer is completed, and the initial electrical work is completed. The network wiring is about complete. Window installation is scheduled to start at the end of the week, with the added door entrance happening in a few weeks. Last week we had our initial set of meetings to begin to prepare the furniture bid package. The immersion design consultant, Amy Green, has done a great job of helping us move through the initial phases of this process. After a package is created, we'll review that with you, and then it will be sent out to bid. And that's all I have at this time.
You say it was ahead of schedule. When is the schedule?
We're about 2 weeks ahead of schedule at this point. It was due to be completed by October the 15th.
10/15. So that's still the date till we get there, because anything can set.
Yeah, anything can, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Power. At this time, community comments on agenda items.
No one has signed up.
Okay.
All the
Exciting.
conversation over here.
Okay, all right. At this time, we'll entertain the treasurer's reports and financials.
Yes, ask for the board's approval of the month ending June 2018 and also fiscal year ending monthly financial reports, which include a financial summary of all funds, 2 different budgetary reports for the general fund, a receipt report for the general fund, and also a bank reconciliation.
Okay, I'll move.
Mr. Kamin's?
I'll second.
Mr. Nay? Anything you want to add to that, Terry, or any questions from
It is fiscal year end. Like I said, this is the end of our fiscal year. We just started our new fiscal year. We are now in fiscal year 19. Of course, our fiscal years run July through June, and we're off to another school year.
So our school year's closed out?
Yes.
Our school year's closed out?
That's
and we
correct.
do POs?
Oh yeah, they've been going out.
Okay.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Siebert,
Yes.
Mr. Haas,
Yes.
Mr. Nay,
Yes.
Mr. Cremines.
Yes.
Okay.
Next, I ask for the board's approval of the following contracts. You can't see.
Jerry, I have a question.
Yes.
On that admission, is that what the Mercy paid for?
Yes.
So they pay the first year, we pay it from now forward? Or they're,
It's part of the annual.
Yeah.
Part of the-
Yeah,
Okay.
it's part of the annual, so yeah, so 34.
Okay.
Goes back for that, yeah. So yeah, the one contract is with the Ohio School Board Association for our annual updating online with our board policies and so on. And then the other one is with Ignition for the strength and conditioning coaching that we have.
I'll move.
Okay, Mr. Nay.
Second.
Mr. Kamin's? Okay. No questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Haas,
Yes.
Mr. Nay,
Yes.
Mr. Cremines,
Yes.
Mr. Siebert.
Yes.
Thank you. I believe that's all I have, thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'll entertain superintendent's reports and recommendations. Mr. Power?
Thank you, yes. Ask the board's approval for all personnel items listed under personnel.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Mr. Day and Mr. Kamin's. Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Jornet?
Yes.
Mr. Kamines?
Yes.
Mr. Siebert?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce our new intermediate school assistant principal. Jamie Dean is here, and Jamie, come up and shake the board's hands and welcome. We're very pleased to have her. I had a meeting with some King staff, and they were very upset that we stole her. So anytime you can steal someone from King, it's a great.
Yeah, gotta do it.
Hey, go Panthers.
And the next last item on the agenda is handbook adoption. I'd ask the board's approval for those two handbooks.
I'll move.
Mr. Day, Mr. Siebert. And we had talked before, I think, Mr. Power, you and I had talked before that we had reevaluated all of our manuals and got everything.
Related to the student code
To
of
student code of
conduct,
conduct and
and
so
yes,
forth.
that's all been, it was aligned. We just went back through to affirm that after we received some public feedback.
Right. Thank you very much. Okay, this time, roll call, please.
Mr. Kamines?
Yes.
Mr. Siebert?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Ms. Jornet?
Yes.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Power. All right, at this time, we'll, any community comments on non-agenda items?
No one signed.
Okay. All right, at this time, I need a motion to move into executive session to discuss details relative security arrangements, emergency response protocols for the board.
I'll move.
All right, Mr. Kamines,
Second.
Mr. Siebert. All right, roll call, please.
Ms. Jornet?
Yes.
Mr. Kamines?
Yes.
Mr. Siebert?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much, yes.
Look as fast as I
You
can.
guys are